Hello everyone, this is Priyasha Das from XAT and this is the third part of XAT 2022 DM section video. So over here we'll be dealing with three more sections, few questions. All of these are PYQs. So the few things which you need to keep in mind before starting this video is you can refer to part 1, part 2 for the remaining set of videos, set of questions from XAT 2022 DM section. And for this also, the points remain the same that you have to assume that you have to read this either from the PDF already present on the net, otherwise, just pause this and read the set and be ready. I'll be doing it as if I will do in the examination directly, reading through the points and getting the important points from there. And I'll explain definitely why each option is correct and each option is wrong, like that. Okay, so I'll start off with the first comprehension right now, and that starts with Dileep Dosan. This is actually a dosa case. If you guys have read it before, you must be knowing this. So let's get quickly started. Dileep Dosan sells dosas in front of an upscale hospital, a city in Punjab. Okay, that's an upscale hospital. Whenever they give any references about whether something is a big scale, small scale thing, please point it out. No, he only sells two varieties of dosas, plain dosa for 25 and masala for 40. And his dosa stall is popular among the hospital staff members. So who are there? Who are his natural customers? The natural customers are the staff members of hospital who mostly hail from South India and form his core client. Now they frequently visit his stall during the office hours as they find his dosas to be reasonably priced, and though the office staff members can visit the upscale food court also. So the hospital has itself a food court on the top floor, but they prefer his stall for breakfast and lunch. That means two times a day, definitely he's selling a lot of dosas and even for occasional evening snacks. So that's an additional point where they can get, like he can get enough money. His daily sale volume varies between 300 to 400 dosas, which is a good number, in which the demand for masala dosas is 50 to 60%. So the majority prefer masala dosa. So that's all the basic details you have about Dilip Dosan and his dosa stall. Now we'll talk about the question in itself. The question says, one day Dilip, while walking through the hospital food court, sees a vacant spot and he wonders if he can shift his stall to that spot. Which of the following information will dissuade him the most from shifting his stall to the food court? Dissuading him means which option will help him believe the fact that nahi nahi baba bilkul nahi karne ka. So in English that means that you don't have to purchase this plot or this space in the food court. Don't shift your stall from outside the hospital to inside the food court. Okay, don't do that. Which option will most support this fact? So let us check all the options. Okay, number one, the food court closes by 10:30 p.m. though his current stall is open till midnight. This is an advantage of food court or a disadvantage of food court? Of course, a disadvantage. And I am looking for what? What is my problem? Please identify the problem here. What is the problem? The problem is that I don't want to move to food court. Okay, what I have to find out, what are the problems with moving to food court? So option A highlights a problem. So it is still in my waiting list. Option B, the food court has no other stall selling dosas. This is a benefit or a disadvantage? Of course, this is an advantage of moving into food court because no other stall in the food court is actually offering dosa. So if he goes there, he'll get a USP. But is this what I want? No, my question or my problem was, tell me something which will not allow me or not impress me to go and purchase the spot there. So this is impressing me. So of course option B is gone out. Now we'll check the next one. The food court sees a daily footfall of about 5,000 people. Talk to yourself. Ask yourself, is this something which is a disadvantage of a food court, of moving into a food court, or advantage? What was I asking for in the beginning? I was asking for something which turns out to be a disadvantage, जिससे मुझे वहां पे जाने का मन ना करे. But this third point is also an advantage that more number of people are coming to food court. So this is also gone. All the restaurants in the food court, except the fast food stalls, sell North Indian meal during the lunchtime. Again, this is an advantage for you, dear. If you go there and you become a unique section there, that lunch maybe I am giving you South Indian food. This is a disadvantage or advantage of moving? Advantage, and we don't want advantage. Then lastly, coming to option E now. Option E says on inquiry, he learned that the cheapest dish in the food court is priced at just rupees 200. Not just, okay. You're like, come on, 200 rupees is not just, Priyasha. It's true. So this is something which will help him believe that he should not move to food court, or something related to time. Remember, what will be a more major factor to play? What will have a major factor to play? क्या उसे ज्यादा इफेक्ट करेगा? डोसा का दाम डायरेक्टली 20 रुपीज से 200 रुपीज कर देना, या फिर गोइंग फॉर दिस, दैट इज मैं हाफ एन आवर, मैं कम टाइम तक ही खोल पाऊंगा, दिस विल बी मोर harmful or the price will be more harmful? Of course, anyone can say this thing, that of course the price will be more harmful. Correct? So option E is the correct answer over here. The price, the quantity demanded is directly proportional to the price of the product, and vice versa also. So you understand this, that if the people are now the same people who were first eating the dosa at rupees 20 will never ever at any cost, no matter if he is a multi-millionaire also, will still not go and eat the same dosa for 200, same to same. So that is what is more dissuading factor here. So option E is the answer. Now let's quickly go to the next question. दिलीप shifts his stall to the hospital food court. तो ये माना नहीं, ये फिर भी food court आ ही गया. Now he prices his plain dosa at 40 rupees and masala at 60. However, 2 months on, he is serving only about 150 dosas per day. So please see the changes here. Earlier, he was selling 300 to 400 dosas at the price of 25 to 40. Now he has increased the dosas price to 40 and 60 respectively, plain and masala, and his footfall has fallen by 50%. Now, what is happening? The client is mostly the same hospital staff members who had been his customers before he moved to the food court. So, which of the following actions will best help Dilip in increasing his sales? What does Dilip wants? He wants to increase his sales, and how will be he able to do that? That is in the alternative options given to you. So, what's the problem? Note making strategy. What's the problem here? Dilip is facing a fall in the number of customers he gets every day, the number of dosas he's selling every day, and so he wants to improve his sales. That is his problem and concern. How can we provide him a solution? Let's see the alternative solutions. Let's go through option A. Option A says reduce price by 20% for the hospital staff and increase the price by 50% for others. Now, do you think that it will affect the present number of people coming or the number of dosas selling? Maybe yes, maybe not. So there is a condition of maybe over here. Okay. So I'll still keep it in my waiting list, but the thing is that maybe or maybe not. Okay. Now, option B. Introduce a South Indian meal exclusively for the hospital staff members at a discounted rate of 40 rupees per plate. Increasing a new thing will increase the sales. Like adding a new thing, that too only for the hospital staff members. Will it affect? Maybe, maybe not. More towards maybe not. Okay. Option C. Increase prices of all the food items by 50% and introduce a new Szechuan dosa. Does not make sense at all. Already he has increased the price, and because of that he is facing 50% less number of dosas selling. So this is not going to be a good option at any point of time. Option D. Add more varieties of dosas at a higher price point and reduce the plain and the masala dosa price back to their original price, that is 25 and 40. Will that help? I'll tell you a notion. I'm learning this in marketing right now, so I'm helping you people with that point of view, POV, which we use in Instagram, POV. POV here from marketing classes, that there is something called as perceived value of a product. Okay, perceived value of the product. Just think about any posh brand, like let's say any big brand like Ferrero Rocher. So Ferrero Rochers are not having a cost price such high that they are selling each laddu for more than 45 rupees. I think like each laddu of it costs more than 45 rupees or something similar to it. So do you think that we are like their cost of invest, like their cost is so much that they are keeping a little margin and selling it? No. It's not so. It's something called as perceived value. They did a hit and trial in the market. They decorated it, they did everything. Suppose the costing of each laddu for them became 15 rupees, but they are selling it at 45. They are getting a profit of rupees 30. They did a market experiment. They increased the price and sold it. People started purchasing it, and now people have believed that Ferrero Rocher hai to costly hoga hi. This is called as perceived value of the brand. Okay, we are ready to pay because it's Ferrero Rocher and it's not Eclairs, and that is a problem. That is the problem and the solution both. Here in the case of Dileep Dosan, you guys know that he has been selling the same dosa for rupees 20 and 45 respectively outside the hotel, I mean outside the hospital. And now when the thing has moved inside the hospital, like many of them will not feel like giving an extra 25 rupees, right? No one will, like everyone will say it does not make sense, yaar. He's making the same dosa. Why would I pay 15 rupees more? Why would I pay 20 rupees more? And that is the reason why, if he goes by option D, that sounds perfect. He will reduce the price and at the same time, to overcome his costs and expenses from owning the new store inside the hospital, he can increase the sales by adding newer items at higher prices. तो इससे क्या होगा? अगर उन लोगों ने इसे परचेज कर लिया तो उस न्यू साइज न्यू वैरायटी ऑफ डोसा का परसीव्ड वैल्यू बढ़ जाएगा. People will start believing. Suppose if people start liking the Szechuan dosa, he starts selling at rupees 70. If people start liking, there will be a perceived value of that Szechuan dosa, and everyone will be like, nahi, nahi, Szechuan dosa hai na, thoda alag hai, to we are ready to pay. That's the point of view. So keeping that in mind, D looks appropriate to me compared to A and B. So ये दोनों तो हटा देते हैं क्योंकि maybe not का चक्कर है. Then we come to option E. Look at this. Introduce a North Indian meal and give 20% discount. Changing the forte is not a good choice because it may or may not be working. So therefore, we go with the option D as the correct answer. Now, let's quickly move to the last question from this set. On the first anniversary of his stall at the food court, Dilip reviews his customer base, and almost all his customers are staff members, almost all. Though he wishes to serve the general visitors at the hospital, they avoid his stall. On inquiring, he discovers that visitors generally avoid the stall because it's majorly frequented by the staff members. It gives them a feeling of staff canteen. ये तो काफी बेकार सी बात है, but still, see, you never know. I have seen people commenting below. ये आपके हिसाब से नहीं चल रहा, guys. There are plenty people around you, and when you're dealing with a client and a customer, आपको अलग अलग टाइप के clients and customers के साथ deal करना है. And at that point of time, you are not in an authority to go and say the client कि आप ही dash हो. You are not going to say this, okay? And he is not going to take this also. Remember. So जैसे बोलते हैं ना, customer भगवान होता है. It's not about just being भगवान, but it's all about having the capability of dealing with such idiot people as well. And how will you do that is what makes you a good manager. So keep that in mind and move ahead. Here, as you saw, that the reason given by the other people of not coming to his stall was very weird and foolish. But you being in the manager position will have to take a decision what comes out to be the best thing possible so that you can gain maximum number of audience attention. So how will you do that? Dilip realizes his efforts have not given him any extra sales and the visitors can potentially increase his revenue. So now he wants to pay attention. This line says that he is keeping the visitors in a positive. He believes that visitors अगर मेरे दुकान में आने लगेंगे तो मुझे फायदा होगा. And that means whatever decision this Dilip is going to take right now will be more oriented towards the visitors than towards the staff members. तो आपको यहीं से समझना है कि आपको किस ऑप्शन को सिलेक्ट करना है. Okay, let's go to the next, the first option. So which of the following options can best help Dilip in discouraging the hospital staff members from visiting his stall and increasing his overall revenue? So he wants to increase his overall revenue. वो अपना present base हटा नहीं सकता, but at the same time he has to do something so that the hospital staff members are not encouraged to come and sit and eat there. Okay, let's start with option A for this. Charge the hospital members a premium, तब तो वो आना ही बंद कर देंगे, isn't it? Gone. Request the hospital management to prohibit, आना ही बंद कर देंगे. Present sales zero हो जाएगी तो क्या overall revenue increase होगा? It's simple maths, guys. It's simple maths. Imagine that currently the hospital staff members are adding 6 rupees to his revenue, and let's say that currently 2 rupees is added by the visitors and the total revenue is 8 for him. Now, the first two options are actually asking you to reduce that 6 to 0, and then दो से ज्यादा क्या हो जाएगा? चार हो जाएगा, रेवेन्यू फिर भी घटेगा. छह हो जाएगा, रेवेन्यू फिर भी घटेगा. So to keep the revenue, overall revenue high, you have to make sure that hospital staff member को ऐसे हटा नहीं देना है. You don't have to just get rid of them. Option C says introduce a massive discount on the price for the next 2 months for the footfall. Now, is it specifically working on the section where staff members will not come? Staff members will be like, wow, massive discount, I'll eat more. So this is not going to serve our purpose. Option D, appeal to the hospital management to give a space in the staff room where an exclusive dosa counter can be set up by Dileep. Sounds practical, sounds good, but not perfect. So I'll keep that in the waiting room. Option E, provide a discount to those hospital staff members who order on phone and deliver food in the staff room. Again, good. Now, take a decision. What is the problem with option D? Now we'll go on the negative consequences, negative part. Negative part mein we'll start finding out what is negative in option D. The negative part in option D is setting up all together an exclusive dosa counter. Setting up a dosa counter includes a lot of investment, and that is the negative part about option D. But if I think of option E, there is no exclusive dosa counter needed. If there will be any orders, they will be delivered. So the maximum investment Dilip has to do is a boy who would be delivering in the same building itself. So no transportation cost also. So which one is better, D or E? I know I heard you people saying E. So E is the right answer, and that completes this set of dosa dosa thing. Okay. So this is done. Now we'll come to the new set. Just read it quickly and we'll get started. Over here we have a engineering college, and to be honest, इस सेट में मुझे खुद ही लगा था कि बहुत सारी चीजें is out of the way. ठीक है, the way he or she is taking a decision is quite subjective. So in these type of questions, how to deal with it? Let's see. First, you guys read it. I just had some water between the video because I'm literally thirsty. So A to Z is a state-funded leading engineering college in the country, renowned for its teaching and placement. Now, A to Z aspires to be a global leader in the research as well. A to Z has therefore decided to push for better quality research. So they are working in this domain right now for its newly recruited faculty members. In the past, a few faculty members were confirmed because of their exceptional teaching feedback, even though their research output was below par. So earlier this used to happen, but currently the dean in consultation with the academic council has included the quality of research as a mandatory requirement along with the teaching excellence for the confirmation of the newly recruited faculty members. So the academic council comprises of the senior faculty members and the different departments. So समझ रहे हो, एक faculty member में permanently confirm होने के लिए आपको दो चीजें अब चाहिए. What you need is a teaching feedback as well as your proper perfect research. So initially newly recruited faculty members are put on probation period for 3 years, and either this probation period is for 3 years long, either they are confirmed or their probation is extended for their or their services are terminated based on the teaching and the research contribution. Why do you feel this paragraph is given to you? Any idea which strikes your head? The reason why they have given you is they have given you all the possible options beyond which you will never select an answer and within which you can consider an answer, because sometimes people think, no, I have always told this people, and when you would also be going through the DM questions you would realize कि नहीं नहीं हमें आउट ऑफ द स्कोप नहीं जाना चाहिए. यहाँ पे कहीं थोड़ी लिखा है कि हम लोग उसको प्रोबेशन एक्सटेंड कर सकते हैं. प्रोबेशन एक्सटेंड करना इज अ एडिशनल पॉइंट, बट हियर दे हैव एक्सप्लिसिटली मेंशनड इट कि आप बंदे के साथ तीन चीजें कर सकते हो. या तो आप उसे कंफर्म कर दो, otherwise you increase his probation period, or you directly terminate. So all the three options are mentioned, and when the three options are mentioned, you're not expected to go beyond it. Now, once confirmed, their job is secure along with the other prerequisites or whatever. Aparna is now the case. Okay, Aparna joined the social sciences department of A to Z 2 years back. She's among as many faculty members recruited after the new norms of confirmation were introduced. New norms means good research plus good feedback of teaching. She completed her doctorate from a reputed university in USA and with a significant research contribution. However, after joining A to Z, Aparna got deeply involved in the social outreach as COVID-19 was spreading, and through her social outreach, she has given her immense satisfaction and nothing to show against research contribution. So, though she was having a lot of self-satisfaction, but nothing to show on paper. Further, it has impacted her teaching effectiveness also, and her confirmation is due in a year. 3 years of probation होता है, 2 years complete हो चुके हैं, 1 साल बचा है. Now, the question starts that the dean during the annual appraisal of Aparna realizes that her research contributions needs considerable investment of time and effort, and he is concerned that her performance could set a wrong precedent for the new faculty recruits. That means if he wants to say that if he selects her with a bad research and a bad feed like norm so what moderate teaching feedback, then that will set a bad example. Hmm? And the dean wants to communicate to the new faculty recruits that the research contribution is very critical. So the question is, which of the following actions will best help the dean in achieving the objective? So what are you for the next 2-3 minutes? You are the dean. You have to take a decision. What is your problem? You want that every recruit or every teacher or faculty member should have done an exceptional research work, and that is his objective. He wants to achieve his objective while being fair to Aparna. At the same point of time, he cannot just ask Aparna to go away and get herself done. Why? Because he has to be fair with Aparna also. So requirements are clear. Note making करने वाले ध्यान दे. What is the problem? He wants that इसकी खुद की बात भी रह जाए और अपर्णा के साथ भी fair decision हो. So what will we choose? Let's see that. First option. The first option says that appreciate Aparna's social outreach. So this is actually, see, this is one and this is two. So if I check appreciating Aparna's social outreach, it is fulfilling the second criteria. But advise her to focus on the research and teaching as it is very essential for confirmation is focusing on the first area. So both the areas are getting covered. The solution of both the problems are in front of you. Can I consider it as the answer? Most probably yes, but I'll go through all of the options first. Extend Aparna's probation period by an additional year. Which problem will it solve? While reminding her about the research and teaching contributions. I'm reminding it about her, that is achieving goal. But am I being fair to Aparna by extending her प्रोबेशन पीरियड? थिंक अबाउट इट. आप किसी का प्रोबेशन पीरियड बढ़ा रहे हो, इट्स एक्चुअली बीन टू लीनियंट ऑन हर. Okay, because how can you guarantee? Okay, see, I can say that you are being fair to some part, but you are going more than fair. You are actually being lenient here. If you are giving someone an extra year's time, you're actually being lenient if you compare it with option A. So if I compare option B with option A, I will cancel B and I'll stick to A. So I'll go and cancel option B. Increase her teaching and research requirements while extending her probation period by 2 years. This is going out of the scope. क्योंकि 3 साल we know that again this is more leniency. So ये भी बिल्कुल नहीं. ठीक है. Option D, exhort Aparna to suspend her. Suspending Aparna will not be fair to her. So this option is gone. Suggest Aparna to start looking for a new job. Not fair. Hmm? So that gives our answer as option A. Similarly, we'll go to the next question. 1 year on, Aparna continues with her social work. Gradually, she gets closer to the end of her probation and she has not much to show against her teaching and research contribution. However, her social work was widely appreciated by the local media, and the Chief Minister wants Aparna to take a larger role in the social outreach and assist the government. So now you see that the government is with Aparna, so you understand that she has got major, support from the government. Now, the dean is afraid that not confirming her will send a bad message to the outside world And however, if he actually does confirm her, then it will send a wrong message to the newly joined ones that भाई यहाँ पे तो सारे काम ऐसे ही हो जाते हैं. So करे क्या, बोले तो बोले क्या वाला scenario है with the dean right now. So how are you going to work? You are going to work as the dean and going to give the most sustainable option present, okay, in this current circumstance. So let us see what is the best thing. The problems which we have in front of us is confirming her will create problem for the standard set for the newly recruits, and not confirming her will create problems for the organization in front of the government. So what to do? Confirm her, eliminate this option. Why? Because confirming directly will lead to problem. Okay, and freezing the increments and promotions is not a fair idea. Option B, offering her a 5-year contractual position and then she'll have to leave irrespective of her contributions is again a bad thing to do. Okay, at the same time, option C is declare that she is extraordinary achievement deserves extraordinary treatment. Well, this is the escapist formula, and we will not use the escapist formula here. So option C is also wrong. Option D says extend Aparna's probation by 3 years. Was this condition mentioned in the question before? Yes, it was mentioned that you can extend the probation, but earlier we eliminated it because this leads to leniency. But look at the second part of the question. It tells that she would not have to, or tell her that she would have to leave if the research and the teaching do not improve in that period. Now, there is a very variable factor here. Try and understand. If you make someone sign on paper on this particular, condition that if we don't find your things to be valuable enough or meeting our standard, then we'll ask you to leave. And if then they ask you to leave and then she goes back to the government saying that यार मुझे तो निकाल दिया देखो कितने बुरे लोग हैं, then they can come up on paper and media and say this that listen, we have already mentioned it and signed this up that we will not confirm her because confirming her gives a bad idea, bad image. So we will only increase her probation period जिससे newly recruited faculty members के पास सही message जा रहा है according to the dean, and at the same time we are also not messing up with the government by not taking Aparna or giving her a chance. So this is both ways balanced, and that is my correct answer. But if we check option E, offer to create a non-teaching position and terminate her, bad idea. So we'll go with option D as the answer. Now let's move to the 44th question. This 44th one says that a few more months later, Aparna, during an interview with her local media, inadvertently expresses her fear that she might be let go by A to Z because she has not met its teaching and research requirements. Consequently, the Academic Council urges the Dean to review the faculty confirmation policy. The Dean, however, believes that any changes in the policy will be a setback to the Institute's aspiration of becoming a global leader in the research. So, which of the following actions by the Dean will most appropriate in the given situation? So डीन के रेस्पेक्ट से ही तीनों क्वेश्चंस को आपको आंसर करने हैं in this set. So what will you do if you are the dean? What is the problem? Identification of the problem is 50% of the solution, guys. Remember this. So what was the problem? The problem is that since she is going and saying this in media and now people are, forcing you to change your policies, but you believe that if you do so, you are actually matriculating your standards of your own institute. So what will you do? That's the problem. And the solutions are given in front of you. We will select the optimum solution. How? Number one, give an interview to the local in newspaper and share Aparna's lack of search and poor teaching. What are you doing here? You are demeaning someone and at the same time stating the information which Aparna herself admits. Look, she has herself said that she has not met the teaching and the research requirements. So if you are just pointing out the same thing which she already said, that's nothing going, that's not no way going to help you. So option A is gone. Option B, confirm Aparna, but ask her to issue a public statement acknowledging the importance of A to Z gives to research. Will that make sense? No, because मीडिया में आके ऑलरेडी उसने बोल दिया है कि भाई मैंने तो कोई भी एक्सपेक्टेशंस मीट नहीं किए हैं, एंड अगर हम उसे कंफर्म कर लेते हैं तो Dean's second point of problem will not be met. That is maintaining the institute's level. So option B is a bad idea as well. Convey to Aparna that the institute is eager to retain her. Eager to retain. हम चाहते हैं, हम सच्चे दिल से चाहते हैं कि आपको हम रखें. However, emphasize that she should focus on the research. So only confirm her if she is doing the same. What is happening here? The word eager to retain shows that the institute wants her. So that is dealing with the first problem, which is the bad image which Aparna's termination or not selecting her might create in the society. Or that is met. Second, that emphasizing on research for confirmation is meeting his second problem solution also. What is that? That the newly recruits will still believe that no, 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 we can't just loiter around and get this done. We have to work hard. And so this is the most appropriate so far, but we'll just check the other two options also. Tell Aparna that she's been let go for insulting the college, not the correct one, because the first problem solution is not met here, and that is a bad image in the society. And confirm Aparna, second solution is not met here because that will be a bad standard set for the new fresh recruits. Okay, for future promotion and all that doesn't make sense. So C is the answer for this. Now the last set for 2022 DM. Number one, I mean Sundarsan, okay, Sundaresan, was a professor of corporate responsibility at a premium management institute. As a requirement of his course, the students had to synthesize suitably sustainability challenges faced by the thermal power companies and submit an assignment on the same. Though it was an individual assignment, some of the students sought permission from Sundaresan to work on assignment as a team. So Sundaresan knew that collaboration fosters peer learning and therefore allowed them to work in teams. However, he mandated that a team should not exceed 3 members, and while 15 students elected to work individually, another 15 formed teams of 3 and another 10 formed teams of 2. Question starts now. An assignment deadline came closer and Sundaresan was approached by Abbas, who chose to work in a team of 3 members. He informed Sundaresan that Venkama, his team member, distressed by the death of her grandmother, could not work on her bit of the assignment. So Abbas requested for the deadline extension and so that she could finish her part of the assignment. Name is Abbas, pronoun is she, I don't understand, but still. By then, many students who were working alone had already submitted the assignment. So look at the situation. Currently, this is a case study. I've always told you guys that consider the DM sets to be very carefully sorted case studies. Case studies may the first thing which you have to do is to identify the problem and identify the scenario. The current scenario is where first identify the problem. So let's read the full question. Which of the following actions by Sundaresan is the most appropriate given the circumstances? So you are Sundaresan, you are going to take decisions while which Sundaresan will take, okay? At this point of time, what are the problems which Sundaresan is facing and what are the circumstances? So the problem which he is facing is one of the students who was working in a team of 3 members is asking for the deadline extension. Now you don't suggest anything over here. He himself or she himself herself has suggested the solution. She is saying that please give us some more time. We'll submit the assignment when Venkama will be back. And you are in a circumstance where the single ones, like the ones who have worked on it individually, have already submitted the assignment. So will it be fair? That's your problem. That's your current scenario. That will agreeing to what Abbas is saying will be fair? Will it be fair for others? That's your major problem. That is problem identification we have done. Now let's find out the apt solution over here. So number option A says give extra time to Venkama to work individually and ask the other two to stick to the original deadline. Is it possible then to submit the project, which is a group project, that the two-third of the project will be submitted and one-third will be submitted separately? It's not a feasible option, so option A is gone. Extend the deadline for the team while imposing 1 grade penalty for the deadline extension. Now, if you come to option B, what is the problem with option B? It's, you know, a bad decision with respect to the professor because it's already mentioned that Venkama is not making lame excuses, but is already like grieved because of her grandmother's death. So that's why imposing 1 grade penalty and that too on the entire team. There was no fault of the other 2 members of the team, right? Who already did their part. So therefore, that's a bad idea. Again, warn Abbas. that such issues should not be flagged to the professor and should be handled within the team. Many of you will say that this is a escapist policy. Many of you will say that this is a escapist policy, that आप अपना responsibility नहीं निभा रहे हो. But do you know that right in the beginning of this set, it is written that he is a professor of corporate responsibility, and professors are not at all responsible for dealing with these situations. If you yourself came up with the option of, even if it had been an individual request, professor would have given his thought into. But since you people yourself decided to work in teams and now you yourself are not able to finish or gather it up, what will the professor do? You only think as a professor. You are a professor and someone comes and tells you this. Will you not say that, did I ask you to work as a team? Number one. है ना? This is the first thing which you will say to the student. Did I ask you to work as a team? अब टीम में वर्क करते हुए ये हो जाएगा, ये किसी को नहीं पता था. That's true. That someone will lose someone. But if it happens at all, is it not your responsibility as a team to manage? It's a general scenario. We do it ourselves. We manage it. We have a team of 4 members who submits assignments together. And if one of them is not available at a point of time due to any responsibility or urgency, we take up that part. We tell to the professor that he or she has done their part and this is their part. And we divide the work among ourselves. That's how normally things are done. And so option C is the most feasible answer over here. Just check for option D and E also, that given that the students, giving our students a deadline extension, that is what was asked, would not be, and add an extra assignment as a new requirement will not be fair for others and fair for that same person also who got an extension. Okay. Option E, disband the team and ask each member to work individually at this point of time where majority have submitted the assignment is yet again not feasible. So C is my correct answer. Let's go to 46 number. When Sundaresan was about to grade the assignments, he received a request from the class representative regarding the students who worked individually. The request was to give those students additional marks because they handled the entire workload and this would improve their course grade significantly. Same cheese bolega professor. What will the professor say again? Tell me. The first thing which would come to your lips as a professor would be, मैंने बोला था. है ना? It is clearly mentioned in the beginning he wanted the thing to be individually done, but because on the request of few candidates, he formed up teams. Now, if the individual ones also believed that individually उन्हें करने में ज़्यादा दिक्कत होगी compared to team, so why didn't they themselves form team? Was this the professor's take that हम लोग मैं जानबूझ के some people को I will put in the team and some people I'll put it in individual? Was this professor's choice? No. So if you are taking a decision as a professor, most appropriate action to mark the grades would be what? It's as simple as anything, treating both the individual and teamwork equally. This is the easiest DM question I have ever come across in a past year paper. To be very honest, without even checking the other options, I can blindly tick on option E because that's the only thing expected out of a person to do in the scenario where he himself did not exercise any discretion. Okay, so that's easy. I'll not discuss because the length of the video is going too lengthy. Anyways, 47. Sundaresan was going through submitted assignments and team 9 with 3 members had impressive exhibits and charts. Later on, he discovered that team 13 also with 3 members had the same exhibits and charts. He realized that one of the team had copied from the other and hence he informed both the teams and said that he would award an F grade to both the teams for copying. Later that evening, Ashi from Team 9 called and admitted of sharing the exhibits and charts with Anvi. जानबूझ के ये लोग नाम इतना सिमिलर देते हैं कि इंसान का ब्रेन का 20% इसी में यूज हो जाए. Okay, for team 9 of team 13. Further, she mentioned that Anvi, again, you will think back, Anvi कौन थी जिसने दिया या जिसने लिया? Okay, could not put enough efforts since she lost the significant amount of time due to COVID-19. Therefore, Anvi requested for help. Anvi needed the help, Arvi gave the help. So Anvi assured Ashi that she would not reproduce the shared content, but Ashi requested Sundaresan to punish her and Anvi and spare others. What's the problem? Copied data. What is the solution suggested by one of the students? That you punish me and the other person who copied, but don't punish the other team members. That's the solution suggested by one of the person who is at default. So, which of the following actions by Sundaresan is most appropriate? Again, you have to take the decision as the professor yourself. So, what would you do in this scenario? Let's check. Ask both the teams to work on an extra assignment to avoid F grade. Will that be feasible? Will that be correct? Not punishing is a good thing here? No. Even if you had any problems, like, someone died, someone is facing illness or something like that, punishment is necessary here as a professor because only doing that will set a good example in front of others that you are no way going to copy things. So option A is gone. Award a F grade to both Ashi and Anvi and spare others. Is it not the same solution the students asked you to do? तो क्या आप वही करोगे? Will you do the same thing which the student asked you to do? Were the other team members not aware of it? And if the other team members were not aware of it, why didn't they went inside this concept and checked it? Isn't it? Is this not a question? This is a genuine question, right? So what to do over here? What to do over here? Again, not going by what Ashi or Anvi anyone said. Okay. Option C. Spare both the teams as a confession is rare. Does not make sense. आप कॉपी कर लो और फिर कन्फेस कर दो तो क्या कन्फेस कर देने से सजा कम हो जाती है सजा माफ नहीं होती सो यू कैनॉट स्पेयर इट ओके ऑप्शन डी punish Anvi with F grade and spare others why because just because she copied she promised Ashi many people applied brains here including me I'm so sorry. I'm just being honest here. I applied my extra part of the brain and I thought that, yeah, Anvi copied. She told Ashi that she will not copy. But then the problem is that, बुरे का साथ देना या बुरे के खिलाफ आवाज नहीं उठाना भी गलत होता है. Just as गलत and as wrong as doing a crime itself. So therefore, option D is also not feasible. What is the correct answer is punishing both the teams. Now, many of us and me, including me, believe that बाकी दो लोगों की क्या गलती थी कहीं पे भी पैसेज में ये नहीं लिखा है that the other team members were aware of the fact that Ashi and Anvi had this transaction between. So why will they be treated with F grade? So I asked it to my professor, and yet again he said, "चले जाओ यहाँ से." Don't ask me these questions, Priyasha. You ask a lot of questions. But then this time I stayed back and said, "Sir, एक ही question है, हाँ? Only one." So he said that, okay, I'll just say this in 1.5 minutes. The answer according to me is E, and that is correct. The reason being that is in the option, I mean in the description, it was clearly mentioned that the people are going to form teams on their own and they are going to form teams of their own choice, number one. And this is just because people wanted to do this. The professor never asked anyone to make teams. So if they have themselves made a team, they are responsible for each other's activity. Now, not complaining, punishing them for the activity which one of the team members did will set an example for everyone to keep a very keen look on every member of their team. Correct? That you better don't share it with anyone, okay? It might sound rude, but if you go and say this in your team, it is a better thing for you. And so the professor wants कि सारे लोग ऐसा ही करें. सारे लोग are serious about the fact that everyone in the team is very seriously doing the thing. So I myself got this question wrong. बिल्कुल हाथ उठा के admit कर रही हूँ. I got the question's answer wrong. But I believe I asked it, so I got to know that okay, this is the real reason because professor के end से professor ने team को as a like see the marking will be done as a team It's clearly mentioned at the top. Marking will be done as a team. So even if member A, member B, and member C have their contributions as 20%, 50%, and 30%, still the overall what we will be doing is we will be provide like the professor will be giving them 33% marks, let's say. ओके दैट एवरेज एवरेज मार्क कर दे तो सबको 33 ही मिलेगा. फायदा किन दोनों को हुआ, ए और सी को हुआ, क्योंकि वो इंडिविजुअली सबमिट करते तो उन्हें 20 या 30 आता. बट नुकसान किसका हुआ, बी का हुआ, जिसने 50% तो अपना दिया इन्वॉल्वमेंट, बट देन उसको 33 ही मिला. वहां पे ग्रेडिंग हो गई, मार्किंग हो गई, स्केलिंग हो गई, जो आपके कैट के एग्जाम में भी होती है स्केलिंग. ठीक है. तो 33% अगर सबको मिल रहा है, दैट इज इक्विवेलेंट टू if one person does anything blunder, everyone will get a F. Because if one person does something good, everyone gets a better grade for it, right? So that was the explanation he gave me, and I had to say, okay, sir, thank you. All right, then. So that was all about that 2022 paper. We have completed it. Thank you so much for watching it, guys. I hope this helps you to clear out your that decision making section more properly. If you like it, you know what to do. You have to like this video, comment below, and let me know what more types of videos you need. And yes, share it, and share it. Don't forget. Please share this video with as many people as you can in as many groups as you can. Spam it everywhere, okay? And yes, if you're new to the channel, do subscribe it as well. Thank you so much for watching this. All the best. Keep studying hard, guys.